Okay, so let's take a minute to check in on our shibori style pillows. What we have done here is I did a dye method, a Japanese dye method called shibori. And I have two different patterns. I have my square patterns. I have warm and cool color schemes. And then this student only has square patterns, and then this would be like our triangle color scheme, which is mostly warm colors, a little bit of cool on here. So this was the example that I made, but then a student finished it up for me. So let's talk about like what's working and what isn't. Your stitches, which are whip stitches, should be around the edge like this. You can see here I ran out of thread. I tied my knot. I keep going. Looking good, looking good. A little sloppier over here, but I think this is probably where the student that was helping me was sealing the pillow. Nice stitches here. And looking good here. Now, if your pillow has some kind of rough spots or some spots where it's going to come loose, I'm going to need you to rethread a needle with the full amount of thread and do some mending. Okay, like let's do some right here. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to thread a needle just as you've been taught in the video. So basically from like my pinky to the middle of my chest is the amount of thread that I use. I cut that, thread my needle. You know, and you might be thinking, well, why do I need so much thread? I'm just doing a small area. Well, you might do a few areas. So, you know, if you do it long enough in the first place, then you won't have to like redo it. Okay, just a reminder how we do it. If I'm right-handed, I'm pinching the end with my right hand, going around, like really cutting off the circulation kind of. Doing this, whoops, creating a knot. And that's not big enough. Do another one. Okay, great. Now, okay, so now let's go back to my hole, right? So what happened here? What's the problem? Looks like this person did not tie a knot, right? So that's a cautionary tale. I'm gonna go from the inside to the outside because I don't want my knot to show. And I'm gonna fix it up. Now this would be the same way that you would fix something like if you had a tear in a shirt. You just... So these are small stitches. Making small stitches. Okay, so I kind of, you know, I could keep going probably, but what I'm trying to show you now is I still have a lot of thread on here. So what I'm gonna do is make a knot. So I make my stitch, then I go through here once, twice, pull it tight. Now, I still have a lot of thread on here, so I can just go right into another, just tie another knot. My fingers are kind of dry, so it's not working well. And I could look for other areas that maybe need a little attention, like right here, okay? Because you will be graded on, and I'm gonna go in between to hide my knot. Whoops, maybe not. We're here to do a good job. Finishing early and having it done poorly will not be rewarded. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going here. It's better. Tie knot. One. I made this unimportant stitch. Go through it, whoops, go through it once. Go through it twice. Looks like I caught something else too, it's fine. Here we go. Cool. Okay, so now on to what I really came on here for though. making the tassel. Okay? So, what I need to make my tassel is a good amount of yarn and 2 smaller pieces of yarn. Okay? When I say a good amount of yarn, I mean, I should have measured it, but I don't know. I mean, you should have like basically a whole spool of yarn to use because you're going to make 4 of these things. Okay. Now, here we go. I'm going to wrap this yarn around my 4 fingers 15 times. Actually, 14 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I want to end it at the bottom. I guess it doesn't really matter, but that's where I want to end it. You might ask a neighbor to help you with this because it's hard to use your scissors with your non-dominant hand, as I'm illustrating right here. Okay, well, I guess I'll slip this off. Okay. Here we go. Set that aside for something else. Now, I want to maintain this loop, okay? So then, I'm gonna take one of my extra pieces here, my pre-cut 6-inch pieces. I'm gonna put it through here, and I'm gonna tie a knot with like 1, 2. Okay, so that's that. Then, I'm gonna take my second piece and I'm gonna wrap it around the top here, or near the top. Even these out. 1. And then 2. Okay, so now I'm going to actually cut that off. I can cut that a little shorter. Now I have to find this hole again on the bottom. Okay, right? Take my scissors, really make it taut, pull it tight, cut, and then I have my very cute tassel, okay? Then, on my pillow, I'm going to sew it to the corner. So, grab my needle and thread. Don't be sparing with the thread. Get your full arm's length of thread. Thread your needle. Make them even. Here we go. Wiggle it around, make my knot. Cool. Now, I'm gonna go through my corner, kind of like through the top of this. Okay. Then I'm going back to front, and I'm gonna do this a lot of times. I'm catching the corner of my pillow, and I'm going through the top of my tassel. Because if you punk out here and just do a couple of stitches, your tassel's gonna fall off and you're gonna be sad. So I'm doing like a ton of stitches. I mean, probably like 20 stitches, honestly. Okay. Then I'm gonna make a knot just like all the ways I've been making knots the whole time. Make one stitch, like an unimportant stitch. Go through it once. Go through it twice. Pull it tight. There you go. Times 4.